Hey everybody, bit of a rant today just because it's driving me a little nuts. Some of the stupidity that's put out there for you guys, and it really aggravates me. Anyway, this image here, this has been in my studio for quite a while. The reason being is that the client came in and saw a little bit of color fringing right here on this one hair and said, absolutely not, I don't want it. Looked at this whole image, beautiful image, and saw one piece of color fringing, 1/4 inch on her hair, and said, nope. I believe she used a magnifying glass when she looked at it too. Sound like bullshit? Yeah, because it is. This client couldn't be more thrilled with this image. This was shot on a $10,000 digital camera with an $80 lens. It was 2.1 megapixels. The Kodak DCS 620. One of the originals. We have to admit that our biggest critic is us. We are our worst critic as photographers. Yet when I look at this image of my daughter hanging on my wall, I can find no fault in it whatsoever. It is my most prized image, and it was taken with 2.1 megapixel camera. Actually, it was a little less than that, but I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. 11 by 14 looks solid to me. Hell, our iPhones. Yeah. So every time I hear, now if you zoom in to 200%, you can see a slight onion ring on this side of the image in the bokeh. Now, I promise you that on this image here, and this image here, there was bokeh, but the follow-up is here. I don't give a shit. By the way, this is my daughter as well, you know, little, big. I don't care about anything but the image because it's my daughter, speaking as a client, and as your clients will do the same. You know, the sad part is we go through our Instagram feeds, and other people go through our Instagram feeds, and they're disposable imaging. You know, it's literally a 3-second look, and it's gone forever for that person. This type of image hangs on their wall forever, my wall. And same as this. It's been on my wall since she's 2 days past this age. And believe me, it was the greatest image in the world to me. At 2.1 megapixel, I couldn't believe how fantastic this looked, coming from a 2.1 megapixel digital camera. It was a miracle. As far as putting a filter on this or this, so going back to wedding days for me in 1982, 1983, and even before actually, I worked for a very strict man, and we did weddings, and I told you that story before, but back then we had those little trending things that we would do. The big one was a double exposure of the bride and groom in a big brandy sniffer. Oh God, it was so tacky, but everybody wanted it. Our studio would not do it. Our studio did straight images, period. Nothing done to them. Color stock and film, like the different film that we had. You know, we used the 160. It was what we used because that's the color we wanted, that's the grain we wanted. It wasn't a filter. A film selection wasn't a filter, it was what you needed for the ASA, ISO, for the grain. And yeah, there was subtle changes in color and saturation, but not filters. They couldn't even remotely be considered filters. Now, the funny part of this is some of those old clients that we did still display their albums today, still have their pictures on the wall. They were straight images. When the trend goes, what do you do with those images? What do you do with that entire wedding album filled with trendy photos because they were trending at that time? You know, Ellen created a whole segment on her show for these embarrassing photos. And the funny part is these embarrassing photos were what was trending when these older people had their photos taken way back when. You know, if you want to throw up some trendy photos on Instagram, great, have at it. Be like everybody else. But you better save that regular image. You better save that straight image with no filters and crap on it, because that trendy shit's going to go away, and then it's going in the drawer, in the garbage, or whatever, because they're like, you know, for a small example, my daughter started doing her eyebrows really big at one point. And I said to her, I said, listen to me, your eyebrows, you're going to look back at photos and really wish you didn't do this. She's like, oh no, this is it. This look is fantastic. It'll never. Now, today, she looks at me and looks at those photos and says, why would you let me do this? I'm the same way with photos. Won't let a client do this. Well, after I give them their photos and they want to post them on Instagram and they want to change them and do whatever, I don't care. They're their photos. Have at it. Do you think it's going to hurt me and my business? No, people are going to come to me. A lot of photographers go nuts because, oh my God, they changed my photo. It's not how I shot it. I don't care. Like, honestly, and I get why some of you do, and that's fine. But as far as the trendy stuff that you're doing now, it's going to go away. There's not a question about it. I've been doing this since 1982. The trends come and go, and the trends that are left over in your images are looked at like, ew, why would I do this? And it's not you, the person that's in the photo, it's the photographer that took it. And that's the one that you go, why would you do this? Not your fault, because you're just going with the trend. Just saying. Anyway, getting back on another topic, lens selection, okay? So I don't care that there's like one strand of hair with color fringing. I don't. I didn't fix it. I don't care. Because when you look at this image, it's the subject that grabs your attention. And if you can look at this image and go, wow, that subject that's beautiful. Like, who is going to go up and fine tune with a magnifying glass to look at every little strand of hair to see if there's fringing, or to see if there's a little onion ring on one of the bokeh balls, if there was in this image? No one. A client's not going to do this. The only one that's going to do this is you. And if they're focused on the background before they even look at themselves in an image, you got bigger problems than a little onion ringing on bokeh balls. Okay? Figure out what you want to shoot, how you want to shoot it. I have a lens for studio. I have a lens for an event. Yeah, a lens. I don't carry 2, 3, 4 cameras on me with a backpack, okay? You know, when I'm at an event, I want one camera, one lens, and I'll have another camera on standby in case this one breaks. That's it. I'm not carrying it. That's what I need. That's all I need. You know, if you need 2 cameras, 2 different lenses, that's great for you, but I just don't want to do that. I want one solid lens that's going to get me through an event. If I need, by any chance, to go, oh God, there's somebody speaking up front, I know this beforehand, okay? If there's going to be a speech or something, I know this, I have another lens with me that I just slap on, and so I don't have to walk up and get in their face. Pick one lens. If you're not printing, how critical does this lens have to be? I mean, 99% of the lenses out there are fantastic. Until you have a sit down with yourself and be honest with yourself about what you're going to shoot and how you're going to present it. If you do prints, you need a good lens. If you do larger prints, you need a little bit bigger megapixel and a little sharper lens. That's it. But if you're doing Instagram and Facebook and social media, what do you need? I mean, honestly, Figure out what you need and just get that. Spend the rest of the money on traveling or putting in the bank or investing. You'll be much happier later, I promise you. So many photographers buy all these lenses and they end up selling them on eBay or wherever else and take such a giant hit. Just imagine of all the money you have with all the hits you've taken on used gear that you sold because it wasn't quite up to your standards, or some YouTuber told you it's just not quite good enough because this new lens is out. Me, I like lightweight. In the studio, I want one banger lens that I can do the perfect headshot with and solid images. And that's all I need. I want to produce images that clients go, wow. Okay? 2.1 megapixel, $80 50mm lens. It'll never leave my wall. That's all that you need from a client. That's it. That's all that matters. Just focus on what you're shooting, how you're going to be shooting. Are you planning on doing prints? Are you planning on doing commercial work? Now, the other candidate of this, the other side of the coin of this is, okay, maybe somebody's going to see my image on Instagram and want to pay me $5,000 for it to run in an ad. But I shot it on a low resolution camera and the lens wasn't the greatest. And how often does this happen? Yeah, there's clients out there that are going to go, wow, your images are fantastic. I love them. It's an Instagram image. Could you do this for us? Then go rent a camera. But enough of this BS with, there's a bit of color fringing on my hair. Stop, please. And stop the bullshit. Just go buy a lens. Buy it from Amazon. You don't like it, you're gonna return it. Get the right lens for you. Get the right lens for the job. I shot an entire event the other day with a Fuji X Pro 3 and an 18mm 1.4, and I didn't change the lens once. I did stand-ups, like prom photos, if you will. I did group photos, I did individuals, I did candid. I did 2 table photos and I almost threw up, so I stopped that. And then I did dance floor photos. Everything's fine, photos were great, clients happier than hell. One camera, one lens, no issues. They're never gonna print these. If they do, they're not gonna go bigger than an 8x10. And most of them are just gonna throw them on social media and they're gonna be absolutely positively thrilled with them. Because I didn't concern myself with what lens, what megapixel, I concerned myself on what those people looked like in those photos. I made sure they looked fantastic. I even went as far as to shoot several of them over just saying, this photo is so great, but I just want to get the right angle because somebody had an issue over here or somebody's hair was bad over here. I just do that because I know this is their image. It doesn't mean anything to you while you're shooting these images. You think, oh, I'm shooting 300 shots. What's one image that's not so good? Well, to that person, it's everything. Priorities. Prioritize what you're going to do, how you're going to shoot, and what you're going to use them for. I hope this helps. I'm sorry for the rant and for the anger, but God, I hate stupidity. And some of the stuff you guys are told is just straight out stupid. Anyway, have a great day. Sorry to end this on a negative note. Positive note is my daughter, she's all grown up. Anyway, have a great day.